The 6-year-old was actually a resident of Cuyahoga County.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the indictment is a combination of the Cuyahoga County case, more specifically Parma Heights, and it was all combined with the Summit County cases. It was a collaborative effort between Akron PD, Summit County Sheriff's Office, and the Parma Heights Police Department that they were able to get all those indictments on one, get all those situations, those incidents, under one indictment.
Right, so we understand that there was one victim, alleged victim in Akron, one alleged victim in Coventry,
Okay.
then a third victim here in Cuyahoga County, is that right?
Does that sound accurate?
Yes.
Okay. Ages 6, 9, and 13, does that sound right?
Yeah, that's correct.
That'd be good, okay.
How did
That's
you
what's in the indictment.
Okay.
How did you first become aware of him and what he is alleged to have done?
Here, you want to go ahead and take it?
We first became aware of Mr. Luna and what was alleged that he had done when the one victim's mother came up and filed a report here at Parma Heights.
Was the crime alleged to have been committed here in Parma Heights in that case?
Yeah, the first part of the crime did occur here in Parma Heights, and then portions of it in Summit County, which is how we got connected to those agencies down there that Detective Sloan talked about.
Okay, so same victim originally filed in Akron, and then it came to your attention, is that?
So of the 3 victims, there's one here in Parma Heights that we initially became aware of. There was an incident in Summit County area, and then a third victim we found out about who's also in Summit County. That's how all 3 of those kind of came together.
Okay.
Any other problems with anybody hired by or posting on the page of care.com? Have you seen this before from this particular .com company?
You're asking if we've seen care.com incidences come about? Me personally, this one was the one that I had investigated. I can't speak to any others that were out there.
Detective, we were aware that one of these cases, the one in Akron, dates back some years to 2018, and there are 3 cases. In your mind, is it possible that even before maybe 2018, or for however long this individual has been on care.com, that there have been others that he's babysat?
So what we're working with is the information we have, which is why we've asked if there's other victims, anybody that's been provided child care by Mr. Luna through care.com or any other means for that matter, to speak to their local police departments or give one of those detectives that we mentioned a call.
Do you have any idea how long he has been registered as a caregiver, a babysitter on care.com?
I don't off the top of my head, no.
Okay.
Did he go by any other names, just in case?
Not that I'm aware of. Everything I've seen's been under his name.
And the period for this was like in 2021?
So the incident that we first became aware of started in December of 2021 and went through February of 2022.
So how many times did he babysit this child?
I'm not going to be able to, because it's an open investigation, to speak on exact numbers of things like that.
Can you speak to the importuning charge? It is there that he is listed as using an alias, I think, or some fictitious representation of himself online, and I'm not sure how we get to importuning. Do you know what that means and how that arises, how that last, I think it's count 10 on the indictment, how that arises?
So he's got, obviously everybody is aware with the way online profiles work. He's got some different online profiles. I can't speak to exactly what that charge was, because again, it's an open investigation, but most of what we've seen has been under his name of Timothy Luna and the stuff that we've investigated.
Now, importuning kind of means that you solicit someone under 13 to be engaged in sexual activities. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to make sure that I'm correct in my terminology. Okay. So where do you go from here with this?
We still have some search warrants that are being executed right now on some devices, and then we'll get back with Summit County, but we're working our way through the court process at this point.
Does he have a history of this? Maybe when he was younger, under 18, that got expunged, or that was
So that's not something that I'll be able to comment on at this point. I apologize.
He's not, that you're aware of, previously been listed under any other name or even under his own name as a sexual offender?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I know you're not an attorney, but if convicted, what is he facing in terms of time in prison or?
There's different mandatory sentencing requirements built into the Ohio Revised Code. So depending on what his conviction would be the way that would have to play out.
Is there any particular urgency to say to parents, again, you mentioned talking to your kids, looking for signs, language, activities, behaviors, that kind of thing?
I think the big thing to take away from this, guys and girls, is everything surrounding online profiles, whether it be dating, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, cyberbullying, anything, any type of services you're soliciting from the internet, you always have to have that heightened sense of precaution, right? You need to be careful with who you're dealing with, because anybody can put a picture up on the internet, right? Anybody can throw a name out there, okay? But do you really know who that person is? You really, the answer is no. You really don't know who that person is until you meet them face to face, until you sell them that old broken down lawnmower you're trying to get rid of, okay? Or in this instance, Care.com, this person put their information up as kind of like an advertisement of the services they offer as a babysitter. And it doesn't have their history. It doesn't have what type of person they are. You don't know that you're getting that person right away. Sure, their picture might match the person, but you really don't know, so you just need to be careful. And as far as an urgency with people in our community with regards to this incident, all we're trying to do is make it aware that we have had several incidents, one here in Cuyahoga and several in Summit County. And we just want to make people aware of Care.com and of these internet services that they can seek this information from. And that if your kids are acting out or they're doing things that aren't normal for them, and it's not just them being tired or hungry or things like that. I mean, there's a lot of us that have kids sitting here in this room right now, okay, and we know what's normal and not normal for our children, okay? What we're asking is if you're seeing signs like that, to reach out and speak to somebody. Maybe it's one of our detectives, maybe it's somebody in Summit County, maybe it's somebody from a different county, but reach out and ask questions, ask for help, or ask for resources. It doesn't even have to be from the police department. Anybody can call 696 Kids if they're having issues with their children and or parents and or family members. All those resources are out there, and that's all we're trying to do today is make everyone aware of the incidents that occurred with Mr. Luna so that somebody else's children does not fall victim to a similar situation, and to raise awareness.
There may be somebody out there who says, they got this guy.
Okay.
He's gonna go to jail. I don't want to put myself and my family, my kid through this, and maybe mom about this. Your advice to them.
I'm sorry, can you ask that again?
There may be someone out there who sees this and says, they got him. He's
Okay.
arrested. He's been indicted.
Okay.
He's been charged. I don't want to put my family through this, therefore, I'm not going to come forward. What would you say to them?
Being a victim of any type of case is not an easy task to go through. We see it every day in speaking with victims and going through the court process. It's not easy, and you're right. It's easy for somebody to say they got him, we're done, we're not coming forward. But let's say it's not Timothy Luna. Let's say they hired somebody else, okay? And this is all hypothetical. I'm not saying there is somebody else out there. Can there? Is it possible? Yeah, absolutely, 100%. The problem is if that happens and it's not Timothy Luna, then we don't know about it. If nobody comes forward and talks to us, we have no idea the incident happened. So yeah, it's going to be hard. It's not easy, but there's resources out there to help victims and families through these incidents. I'm not saying it makes it better. It doesn't. It's horrific. It's horrible for any family member, any person, any family member, any child to have to go through something like this. It's horrible. But just because it's a difficult process, people shouldn't be afraid to come to us and talk. because we can help point them in the right direction, whether it be they have a conversation with us one evening, which happens all the time, or we point them to some sort of victims assistance or some sort of social work and or counseling. And we work through that with them. I hope that answers your
It did.
question.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
We're gonna assume that care.com has been able to give you other people that he's gone with, that he's babysat?
There was information that we got from Care.com, yes.
So they are cooperating with everything.
So
Thank you.
just
Okay.
to be clear, those type of websites, it's not mandatory for them to have a background check.
I can't really comment on how those websites operate. All I can tell you that is in this instance, we were able to learn from the victim's mother or parent that that was the website they used. But I cannot comment on how they run their websites and what information is required and what is not required.
If I may here, because they
Again, give a
they have a
disclaimer.
safety statement on their website.
Okay.
They say they do background checks and screenings of caregivers. For parents who rely just on those statements alone, what would you say to that?
I will go back to what I said before. It's on the internet. It's somebody you've never met before. You don't know what you're getting into. I'm not saying people shouldn't use it. Okay, I'm not lobbying against care.com. This is Timothy Luna that we have in question here. But I will caution people that whatever you find on the internet, like I said, dating, any type of care services, even for the elderly, you know, your grandmas, grandpas, grandparents, parents, you need to be careful. It doesn't matter what a website says, right? I don't want to say they're lying, but the answer is you just never know.
Thank you, gentlemen, appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it. All right.
Y'all have a good weekend.
You as
You
well.
do the same.
Does everybody need anything else?
Can I-
Names, business cards, anything like that?
I think we have it.
Just in
done.
case, can I get the whole pack?
I can leave it out. Does anybody else need it? And
Is that the indictment?
this is